You know that friend who sees your call, ignores it, and then texts you back 30 seconds later with, "Hey, what's up?" Yeah. That friend isn't rude. They're protecting something neuroscience calls their processing architecture. And if you've ever felt your stomach drop when your phone rings with an unknown number, or even a known number, stay here, because you're about to find out why your brain treats phone calls like a cognitive ambush, and why that makes you smarter than you think. Let me paint you a picture. It's Tuesday afternoon. You're deep in focus. Your phone rings. No warning, no context, just ring, ring, ring. And suddenly you're supposed to be charming, coherent, and emotionally available in 0.3 seconds. That's not a conversation. That's a performance exam with no study time. Now imagine this. Your phone buzzes with a text. You read it. You think. You craft your response. You delete the weird emoji. You rephrase. You hit send. That's not laziness. That's intentional communication. And there's a reason it feels better. Here's what's actually happening in your brain. Phone calls require what psychologists call synchronous processing. Your brain has to juggle listening, comprehending, formulating a response, and managing tone and pacing all at once, in real time, with zero margin for error. It's cognitive juggling on a tightrope. But texting? Texting is asynchronous. You control the pace, you control the tone, you control the timing. It's not avoidance, it's architecture. And here's the twist. Nobody tells you. People who prefer texting aren't less social. They're often more thoughtful communicators. Because when you have time to edit, you actually say what you mean instead of what panic made you blurt out. That delete button? That's not weakness. That's quality control. But society loves to frame it differently, doesn't it? Just call me, it's faster. Texting is so impersonal. You're afraid of real conversation. And suddenly you're defending your communication preference like it's a character flaw. But neuroscience has a different word for it: adaptive cognitive load management. You're not broken. You're efficient. Let's go deeper. There's something called the backspace effect. Studies show that people who prefer written communication often have higher perfectionism scores and stronger internal editing systems. You're not avoiding calls because you're bad at talking. You're choosing texts because you care more about getting it right. You'd rather send one good message than fumble through 3 minutes of yeah, totally, haha, wait, what? Here's where it gets interesting. That anxiety you feel when the phone rings? It's not social anxiety, it's ambiguity anxiety. You don't know why they're calling. You don't know the emotional tone. You don't know if it's good, news, bad news, or just someone who could have texted. Your brain hates uncertainty, and phone calls are dripping with it. Texts give you context before you engage. That's not avoidance. That's emotional intelligence. But let's be honest about the shadow side, because there always is one. If you're using texting to dodge conflict, hide from hard conversations, or avoid intimacy, that's different. There's a difference between I process better in writing and I can't handle emotional presence. The first is a strength, the second is a limitation. And only you know which one you're living in. So here's the permission you didn't know you needed. Your preference is valid. You're not antisocial. You're not cold. You're not bad at communication. You're someone who values clarity over speed, intention over impulse, and quality over convenience. And in a world that glorifies instant everything, that's actually kind of rare. The people who demand you call them, they're prioritizing their communication style over yours, and that's fine, for them. But you don't owe anyone access to your cognitive bandwidth just because they think texting is impersonal. Set the boundary, own the preference, and if they don't get it, send them this video. Here's your new identity. You're not a bad texter. You're a deliberate communicator. You're not avoiding calls. You're optimizing your processing system. And the next time someone says, "Why didn't you just pick up?" smile and say, "I'm an asynchronous communicator. I'll get back to you when I can give you my best response, not my rushed one." Because that's what this is really about. Not laziness, not fear, but the belief that communication deserves intention, and you're allowed to build your life around that. If this hit subscribe, I'm breaking down the psychology behind everyday behaviors you thought were just you. Next up, the psychology of people who arrive 30 minutes early to everything. And trust me, it's not what you think. You're not weird. You're just wired differently, and that's exactly the point.